السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد. So Allah Ta'ala's greatest ayah in the Quran, Ayatul Kursi, and we are explaining this ayah so that when we read this ayah, we internalize this ayah and have the correct understanding of this ayah. So Allah, La ilaha illahu, none worthy of worship, Al-Hayy, ever living. Today we talk about another proof, Al-Qayyum, the one who is self-sustaining and sustains everything else in this universe. The all-sustaining, the one that is self-sustaining and sustains everything else. We also call upon Allah in that He is the sustainer of all. This means He is the one who looks after everyone and everything, provides for them, keeps everything in place. Example, the planet, the orbitals, keeping the earth and the heavens intact, allowing life to continue. The sustainer of all implies that Allah is complete in terms of His ability to carry out the actions. Therefore, we call upon Him in that He is always there and able to do whatever we require. Now, these two attributes of Allah, according to some scholars, is the Ismul Azam, Al-Hayy Al-Qayyum. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reported to have said that Allah has the greatest name, that if you ask Him with it and supplicate to Him with this name, then He will surely accept your supplications. Many ulama have mentioned that this greatest name is in fact the two names at the beginning of this ayah. O ever living, O sustainer, Ya Hayyu, Ya Qayyum. And these words or attributes of Allah are found extensively in the prayers of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is recorded that if you suffer any form of loneliness, any form of depression, recite Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum bi rahmatika astaghith 5 times. Insha'Allah you will enjoy peace of mind and you will enjoy contentment. Another form of this dua is Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum bi rahmatika astaghith aslih li sha'ni kullah wa la takilni ila nafsi tarfata ayn. The meaning, just think how beautiful is it. O ever living one, O sustainer of all, by your mercy I call on you to set right all my affairs. Do not place me in charge of my soul even for the blinking of an eye. What's the dua? Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum bi rahmatika astaghith aslih li sha'ni kullah wa la takilni ila nafsi tarfata ayn. A brief commentary of this dua, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reported to have taught his daughter Fatima radiyallahu ta'ala anha to recite this supplication every morning and evening. We begin the supplication by calling upon Allah, Al-Hayy Al-Qayyum, the ever living. We also call upon Allah with His mercy that He saves us. We do not mention what we want Him to save us from, but judging from how the supplication continues, it is understood that we are asking Him to save us from everything that may harm us, as we realize we cannot rely on ourselves for anything. So when we ask Allah to rectify all our affairs, this includes matters related to this life and subhanallah, even matters related to the hereafter. And the last part of the supplication, subhanallah, sets in place a very important concept of our life, which is that we need Allah for everything in our lives. And that if we are left to ourselves without the help of Allah, even for a moment, then this would lead to our destruction. So by realizing that we cannot depend on ourselves alone, we implement what we recite at least 17 times a day, which is the verse in Surah Al-Fatiha, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Only you do we worship, and only you do we seek assistance. Now, some points to conclude with: memorize the greatest name of Allah, Al-Hayy Al-Qayyum, and ensure you always call upon Allah with this name whenever you supplicate to Him. Though very short, this supplication carries great meanings and must never be said without contemplation, as you are directing your mind, your frame of mind, for the rest of the day correctly when you say the supplication. Whenever you say the supplication, always ensure that you realize you will fail if you only depended on yourself, even if it is for a moment of your life. So you are always in need of Allah. And once you say this supplication with sincerity, you will feel, subhanallah, a great ease and comfort as you have entrusted all your affairs to Allah. Therefore, you know you will have a very successful morning and evening. The dua, Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, Birahmatika Astaghith, Aslih li sha'ni kullah, Wala takilni ila nafsi tarfata ayn. So the one on whom death is inevitable cannot be relied on. Even Rasulullah had to taste death. Sulaiman alayhi salatu was salam enjoyed control over the jinn. He gave them a task and he desired that they complete the task, and they should not stop even when the year of his death. He placed himself in a glass room and he passed away. They only came to know when the termites began eating his stick, and when eventually they ate the entire stick and he fell, that's when they realized he had passed on. So our reliance can only be on the one that is ever living, on the one that is ever sustaining. He sustains himself, he sustains the universe, he sustains all our affairs. And therefore, let's not forget this dua. Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, Birahmatika Astaghith, Fala takilni ila nafsi tarfata ayn. O ever living, O sustainer, we seek your rahmah. Do not leave us to ourselves for any of our affairs. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.